Every fish in the sea is the one. Every fish in the sea is the one. Every fish in the sea.
Made itself through the churches as teaching of Jesus. It wasn't in, and it needed to be in a Greek language. And it needed to be in a Greek language that was universally used across the Roman Empire. And therefore, to get this message of Jesus from headquarters church to the other churches. And we see evidence of the church sending things out from headquarters Jerusalem. Look at
You know, Mike.
That's my fucking girl.
Going on, bro.
some parts of it. Not doing it. You can see what editors in that group put it out. And one of the biggest ones we talked about was nonsense. Your crowd missed that. They can go back and watch that. It wasn't so much focused on the author as much as the whoa. Yes. We are trying to say really quickly. Yeah, because the traditional evangelical will think that just Matthew went in his office, wrote a gospel, came out. So just strong with it. Traditional evangelical think Mark was the same thing. That Matthew was bullshitting. He was Mark. But yes, we're saying that that's what we're saying is the traditional evangelical is wrong. But Paul's responding to us, not the traditional evangelical. So why bring it up? Yeah, we're not. In fact, speaking of facts, if you go to my podcast, you will find me and often regularly of modern that comes out of it. We called it out quickly that my goal is to deconstruct and take the basic, simple explanation of what's going on, critical thinking, and I personally spend most of my time link it below. Yeah, it's right now. Yeah, if anybody wants to watch it, we'll do it on the podcast. Watch it. Yeah, right there. I was the biggest victim of more than 88% of the modern history. So much so that my journey is leaving modern history, going into the Anglican community and being a part of something more ancient and focusing on the historical, not the modern. So, I don't say what church I attend, but I do say to attend a high church. It's a similar story that you had to get into. One of the issues, several issues, let me know. One of the issues for observers, church fathers, not only they to one of the other reasons I left evangelical, I just didn't. All right, let's get to some super chats here because I've not addressed it for a while. This is some serious IP-ception. How deep can we go? Listen, we'll go deeper. That's an I shouldn't say that. Look, I'm fine going to player deep. I think it's a conversation. I'm always especially now that you're so yeah, I'm all fine. I'll be on my channel tomorrow. So yeah, I'm always fine to keep. Hebrew is proved not known authors as a result of mistakes by authorship. Multiple theories came out of the church. Yeah, and there's not going to be a good response from skeptics. If they were making the traditional authors, they would have done the same thing for Hebrew. They would have done the exact same thing. But we don't right. The different authors have their expressed different. All three with if they were when more again, it's not just one author. It's the argument we make from the cooperating we can work, we can be a little skeptical when hear different theories about which gospel was written. Clement says it was Matthew and Luke, then Irenaeus seems to say Matthew, then Mark. We can be skeptical about where they were written, who was with them, like was Matthew actually transcribing or John. Right. But one of the things is, in all of these traditions, they're all still agreeing Matthew, Mark, and John. If you show up to a crime scene, you got one witness saying some guy robbed a convenience store, he was wearing a red hat, he has this weird mustache, and he was some white guy. You have another person say, no, he wasn't wearing a hat, he did have a mustache, and he used a knife. Yeah, he was white. If you have another one saying, well, I don't remember anything about what he was wearing, I just remember seeing the white guy. I can be unsure if he was wearing a hat, I know it was a white guy because he has corroborating evidence. That's the exact same problem in light of traditional authorship. He didn't unsure about when the gospel was written. He's unsure about who was with him. But given the corroborating evidence, it all points to Matthew. That's a strong indicator that despite the fact they contradict on other issues, they still agree on this. So I don't see how skeptics can get around that. Sure, these kids not. Perfectly welcome enough to get this.
Why the gospel, or why the epistle of Hebrews was written the way it was, and who was possible behind it, through my podcast to give the full information. Well, I'm sorry, that was a side play.
Let's see here. Hey Pete, could you give a list of your favorite books that you considered making a video about it? Thanks for your previous advice and all that you do. It depends on what topic. I mean, and I'd have to sit there and think. I do have on my website, inspiringclub.org, recommended reading list for people that want to start out in certain subjects. So start there with what you say. And it's one. Depends on what topic. But again, you can go to the video only. The video I've got coming out on Mark. I'm going to cite a bunch of books you can read on the liability of Mark. So probably I'm going to cite books I think you should use on the topic in the videos. So sometimes I put so many quotes in my videos just so you have additional sources. Sometimes I feel like I'm being too quotey, but I think it's good that you see there are other sources. And it's like a way for me to say, hey, additional material. Why does it seem that most critics of Christianity either quote or outright lie about things they are lies or forms of Dawa? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know if that's a fair assessment. I'm sure there are people that are in that crowd that are maliciously evil. I really believe that they believe what they're saying. Or they want to believe what they're saying. Christians can have the same problem. This is an issue in both circles where we can come to believe a narrative or be closed-minded to certain aspects. We hold tightly to the one that we are most comfortable with and we defend it at all costs, which is what we get accused of all the time. I would say that it happens in both ways. It happens on their end, too. One of the hardest things that I'm sure you had to do this as well, Michael, is have an open mind. Be willing to change. And this is what needs to be understood. My position in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, before I did all my research and study and schoolwork, is very, very different from where I landed today. And far more detail. Like, I have changed so much from what I believe about the further I've gone into it. So I don't think that these guys are necessarily right out line. I think that they're misled. And then when they're presented with evidence, they have to choose what to do with it. And they choose to handle, in my opinion, not the best way because just like Christians, they have a position, they have an area, they have to. And sometimes we can fall for that.
Yeah, I try to share obviously, and when I mess up, I try to apologize. But no, again, I don't think you can say they're all out. I just think we disagree on a lot of things, and I probably try to oh, you're doing this all of it, or you're just making mistakes. Be an adult. Show some respect. Don't just engage with the arguments. I just got kicked on. I respond to some stuff I think you can point out. Like, I respond to somebody one time, like, he said flat mountains are giant tree stumps from the ancient world. I'm like, you mean plateaus? Okay. Let me at least represent this as best I can before I debunk it. Because at least I'm going to engage with it and not just say, go read a book. Let's try to do that. So, I just want everyone to be more respectful. And I even got after Christians for that. I knew it. This guy is not debating Christians. He is fighting the fundamentalists. Atkin describes his mentality the same as Herman. Yeah, I think Paul does have a lot of agreement with fundamentalism. He came out of fundamentalism. But I agree he seems more of a fundamentalist understanding of these issues, which I both you and I agree change. We need to adjust our thinking on that. But our argument is don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. There's plenty of good evidence for gospel authorship and gospel reliability here that is put forward where get rid of the fundamentalist way to look at this. It's good enough for the King James was good enough for Paul. It's good enough for me mentality. But,
which I grew up in.
You know, wow. Yeah, I didn't even grow up in that. I grew up in the church.
Oh, I did that too. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Women can't wear pants. I grew up in that. Is that actually
No, you were
$129? Is that $129? Or is that?
That's Mexican dollars. So,
Oh, okay, I see. Okay.
you know, you got to do the change. It's probably like, I don't know. It'd be nice, but I mean, anyone wants to throw $129
It'll take time to answer that one.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, my church was real fundamentalist in the way it sort of acted. But yeah, I just think, a lot of atheists, their real enemy or their real anger is towards fundamentalism.
It is.
That actually, if you study the sociology, that's where a lot of problems come in, sociologically speaking. That leads to all sorts of things. But intrinsic religiosity, Christian Orthodoxy, does not on its own. So I agree with a lot of the atheists in their fight against fundamentalism. The problem is that they think that just sort of spills over into you or I do, or just Christianity at large. The fundamentalists really, in the sociological aspect, don't represent the majority of people. There's a lot more fundamentalism in Islam than there is in Christianity. Various studies show that. Yeah, I think that's a lot of the problems. But I mean, again, Paul still raises objections. I mean, he's not an idiot. He brings up good points. He is. We'll make our excuses to deal with it. Meant to say, this is as was earlier comment on critics of Christianity. So, adding to this, meant to say I see more outright lies from the Dawa guy.
Kanye started to lose it a little bit. He started to lash out, and it all spiraled into him lashing out against the Jews. As you guys saw over the course of the last, couple of years, he's gone all in on going against the Jewish people. He's been spouting out some talking points from a cult version of a religion that we kind of talked about a little bit here on a previous episode of the Bible Lens. If you go back and you watch our episode of exposing the 5% Nation of Islam and the Nation of Islam, there was a lot of race-based cults that sprung out in the 1930s that centered around black people. The Nation of Islam is one, the Black Hebrew Israelites, and a few other groups that we talked about on that episode. And essentially, this whole idea that actually all the key figures in the Bible are black, and the white man just suppressed the Bible to make it seem like that black people weren't a part of it because he's trying to suppress history and reality. Some people go as far as to say that the black people were the real Hebrew Israelites. Jesus was actually black. Moses was actually black. And the white man is actually the devil. All these insane beliefs. If you guys want to go through the full video, like I said, it's a previous episode here in the Bible Lens. It's the 5% Nation of Islam, and their beliefs. We discuss all this. But Kanye was essentially repeating a lot of their talking points, and he was going after, the Hollywood executives in the industry who are Jewish. He went after, I think, the Prime Minister of Israel at one point too. He made a little quip about him. So that kind of led to a downward spiral in Kanye West. Then he started, dating this other model who looks a lot like Kim Kardashian, and when he married this girl, got remarried to this girl, all of a sudden he started being shown doing very, very lewd things in public with his wife. His wife is wearing less clothes than a porn star, let's just put it that way. In public, questionable things, and all of a sudden people were like, wasn't this the guy who a few years ago was just doing that video in the prison saying that he was all about Jesus and he was all about, bringing people to God, and now he's turned on the Jewish people. His personal life's not matching up. So people noticed that there was a change there. And then, fairly recently, if you guys were on the Barroom podcast last week, we did a little bit of talk about this. But Kanye has now come out